Welcome to the June 2024 edition of the GECF Monthly Gas Market Report. We would like to present a short overview of the main highlights of the report, which include the major developments in the gas market during the last month. Global GDP growth for 2024, based on purchasing power parity, is projected by Oxford Economics to be 3.0%. Despite downside risks, steady growth in the first half of 2024 and more accommodative monetary policies in the second half of 2024 are expected to support overall economic expansion. On a regional level, GDP growth is expected to reach 2.4% in the US, 0.8% in the euro area, and 4.7% in China. Looking ahead to 2025, global economic growth is expected to accelerate slightly, with a forecasted global GDP growth of 3.3%. Additionally, global inflation is anticipated to continue its downward trend, reaching an annual average of 4.6% in 2024 and 3.4% in 2025. In May 2024, gas consumption in the EU recorded a significant year-on-year decrease of 6%, primarily due to unusually warm weather that reduced the demand for heating. May 2024 was the third warmest May on record for Europe, with an average temperature 0.88 degrees Celsius above the 1991 to 2020 average. Conversely, gas consumption in the industrial sector showed a recovery in major industrialized European countries, driven by the fall in gas prices. Gas-based power generation in the EU experienced a 16% year-on-year decline, while total electricity production rose by 1.2% year-on-year, reaching 191 terawatt-hours. This significant decrease in gas consumption within the power sector can be attributed to increased outputs from hydro, solar and nuclear. In May 2024, US gas consumption increased by 1.7% year-on-year, totaling 66 BCM. This growth was led by the power generation sector, driven by the shift from coal to gas as gas prices became more competitive and the increase in the power demand for cooling in some region in the US. In contrast, the residential and commercial sectors each recorded declines in gas consumption of 2.2% and 12% year-on-year, respectively, influenced by mild weather. Meanwhile, the industrial sector experienced an increase of 1.2% year-on-year in gas consumption. In April 2024, China's apparent gas demand, which encompasses domestic production, pipeline gas and LNG imports, rose by 8.5% year-on-year to reach 34 BCM. Recovery in economic activities and low LNG prices bolstered domestic demand, which contributed to an increase in gas consumption. At a conference held in Chongqing from May 22 to 24, China's state company CNOOC forecasted that domestic natural gas consumption will reach 410 BCM in 2024. Europe saw a 0.6% year-on-year reduction in gas production in April 2024, reaching a total of 15.7 BCM. This decrease primarily stemmed from the continued decline in gas production in the UK and the Netherlands, although the increase in Norwegian gas production partially compensated for the reduction in the other major regional contributors. In the US, the major shale gas-producing regions reported a 1% year-on-year increase in production to a total of 87.4 BCM in May 2024, despite the announced cuts in gas production by some private producers amidst low Henry Hub gas prices. This was mainly driven by stronger associated gas production from the Permian region. In April 2024, China's gas production output reached 19.8 BCM, representing a 4.8% year-on-year rise. For the period January to April 2024, the cumulative Chinese gas production totaled 83.2 BCM, with a remarkable 25% YoY increase. In terms of new discoveries, in April 2024, approximately 230 million barrels of oil equivalent of hydrocarbon volumes were discovered, with gas amounting to 5 BCM. With this slow start, cumulative discovered volumes in the period January to April 2024 amounted to 1.7 billion barrels of oil equivalent, with a number of disappointing results in key exploration wells. In the EU, there has been little change in the PNG supply to the region over the past few months. In May 2024, the EU imported 13.6 BCM of PNG, which represented a 2% increase month-on-month, and was 9% higher than was imported 1 year ago. Over the period from January to May 2024, total PNG imports to the EU reached 67 BCM, which is an increase of 5% compared with the same period in 2023. This supply increase is driven by greater flows from Russia and Azerbaijan. During May, Russia increased supply via each of its supply routes, while Norwegian flows to Germany contracted by 10% month-on-month. Net gas flows from the UK to the continent surged by 118% during the month, to reach 0.8 BCM. China imported 5.5 BCM of PNG in April 2024, falling for the second consecutive month. This volume was just 1% lower month-on-month, and 3% lower than 1 year ago. In May 2024, global LNG imports decreased by 3.9% year-on-year to 33.1 million tons, following a reduction in LNG exports in April. Europe and Latin America and the Caribbean led the decline, partially offset by increased imports in the Asia-Pacific and MENA regions. Europe's weaker LNG imports were due to lower gas consumption, high gas storage levels, increased pipeline imports from Norway, and the significant price spread between spot LNG prices in the Asia-Pacific and Europe. The Asia-Pacific's strong import growth was driven by higher gas demand from heat waves, summer restocking, increased imports in new markets, and attractive spot LNG prices. On the supply side, global LNG exports saw a marginal increase of 1.8% year-on-year, reaching 33.2 million tons, reversing the decline observed in April. The stronger LNG exports were driven mainly by Indonesia, Norway, Oman, Qatar, Russia, and the US, which offset weaker exports from Australia, Cameroon, Egypt, and Malaysia. Healthy gas restocking continues in both Europe and North America. As a result, by May 2024, the level of gas in storage is notably higher than the 5-year historical average. In the EU, the average daily volume of gas in storage in May 2024 increased to 69 BCM or 66% filled capacity. Compared with 1 year ago, there were 2.2 BCM more gas in storage than in May 2023, and 15 BCM more gas in storage than the 5-year average for the month. In the Asia-Pacific region, the combined volume of LNG in storage in Japan and South Korea in May 2024 increased by 4% month-on-month, to reach an estimated 14 BCM. In the US, there was a large quantity of gas injections in May 2024, which boosted the average daily volume of gas in storage to 77 BCM. This volume was 12 BCM higher year-on-year and represents 57% of capacity. Gas and LNG spot prices in Europe and Asia experienced an increase for the third consecutive month. The average TTF spot price stood at $10.11 per MMBTU, marking an 11% month-on-month increase. Similarly, the average Northeast Asia spot LNG price rose by 11% month-on-month to $10.81 per MMBTU. Meanwhile, in the US, Henry Hub prices reversed the previous month's losses, reaching a 4-month high, averaging $2.10 per MMBTU. Ongoing geopolitical instability and outages at several LNG facilities drove the bullish trend. Looking forward, spot prices are likely to be supported by increasing demand from buyers in South and Southeast Asia. Thank you for watching this short video presentation on the June 2024 edition of the GECF Monthly Gas Market Report. We invite you to download the full report from our website at www.gecf.org, or you can scan the QR code.